All right, welcome to this explainer. You know that feeling when you're spending way more time micromanaging your AI coding assistant than actually building the thing? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, you are definitely in the right place today because we're unpacking Claude's most efficient coding workflow tips directly from Anthropic's own applied AI team. We're going to look under the hood at how they actually code with their own models to get incredibly robust results. Let's get into it.
So let's look at the actual problem we're trying to solve here. Models are getting incredibly capable, right? And because of that, agents can now run for much longer periods completely autonomously, which sounds amazing, but there is a massive risk here. If you rely on bad, ambiguous specifications up front, you're going to burn through a mountain of tokens while the AI diligently goes off and builds the wrong thing entirely. You absolutely want to avoid this token waste and, more importantly, the time waste right at the very beginning of your project.
To really get this, we need to anchor ourselves to Richard Sutton's famous bitter lesson. If you aren't familiar, Sutton is practically the father of reinforcement learning. His bitter lesson is basically this. We have to stop spending all our time trying to use our human capabilities to hardcode and constrain the AI system. Instead, we have to accept that just pouring in compute and data easily outperforms our human constraints. Applied to our workflow, this means swallowing our pride a bit. The AI is actually way better at extracting and structuring requirements from you than you are at defining them up front. The requirements are literally latent inside your head. You just need the AI to pull them out.
So how do we stop burning tokens and actually apply this lesson? We're going to walk through Anthropic's exact internal pipeline. First, we'll cover the new AI coding mindset. Second, letting Claude interview you. Third, the crucial shift to HTML specs. Fourth, agent-native verification. And finally, running the agentic workflow.
All right, up first, the new AI coding mindset.
This really demands a total shift in how we approach software development. It boils down to a strict, chronological three-phase methodology. Phase 1 is extracting the requirements interactively, rather than trying to write a massive, perfect document up front. Phase 2 is swapping out those dense text files for rich HTML specs. And Phase 3 is building in verification from the ground up so the agent can basically test its own work headlessly. This exact structure prevents token waste and makes sure you are actually steering the agent, not just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best.
Moving right along to Phase 1, let Claude interview you. This phase is all about building our initial code base without relying on rigid, upfront human instructions. I mean, let's be honest, we've all done it, lazily typing just make it better or make no mistakes into the prompt box and praying for a miracle. But that is a huge trap. Good prompting means explicitly triggering the Ask User Question tool. Literally tell Claude to interrogate you. Set the domain, tell it you're building a bill-splitting app, and ask it to extract the requirements. By doing this turn by turn, Claude actively removes the ambiguity that would normally cause an autonomous agent to fail later on.
Okay, Phase 2, the shift to HTML specs. So we've got our requirements properly extracted through that interview process. Now we're going to challenge a pretty deeply held industry standard. A colleague of the presenter poetically called the markdown file the lingua franca of the AI native software development lifecycle. And yeah, we've all been using markdown for our specs, but the reality? That format is getting way too constrained. If your markdown spec hits, say, 200 lines long, absolutely no one, including your colleagues, is going to read it. It's just not a practical or digestible way for humans to understand complex application states.
So what's the alternative? You have Claude generate multiple visual HTML specs. Take a look at the contrast here. You've got a stark, brutalist aesthetic on one side and this really sleek Tokyo fintech design on the other. Because these are actual rendered HTML, you can click around, take screenshots of misalignments, and provide much richer visual feedback back to Claude. It is incredibly dense with information, yet it's far easier for you to review and iterate on than hundreds of lines of flat markdown text.
Which brings us to Phase 3, agent-native verification.
Once those visual specs are totally dialed in and the app is actually getting built, we have to make sure the code works, without you having to jump in every 5 minutes. So, what exactly is agent-native verification? Well, using a simple React to-do list app as an example from the source, it means publishing the app's underlying state directly to the DOM, which is the web page's raw structure. Why do this? So that AI can use automated testing tools like Playwright to verify the math and logic natively, rather than clumsily trying to scrape your complex user interface. If you change a component and accidentally break a contract, Claude can automatically run a verification suite, catch the error, and fix it entirely on its own.
Finally, let's bring it all together. running the agentic workflow.
So what are the exact parameters you need to actually run this continuous self-verifying workflow? You're going to want to mirror these specific settings from the internal team at Anthropic. First, turn on auto mode. This is absolutely non-negotiable for autonomous agent work. Turn on fast mode when you are rapidly iterating on those HTML specs. You also want to max out your effort parameter. Set it to extra high. Crucially, you specifically want to use the Opus 4.7 model because its advanced vision capabilities are absolutely perfect for analyzing those HTML screenshots you'll be feeding back to it. And finally, have the agent record video clips of the tests running and store them in an S3 cloud bucket as indisputable evidence that the code actually works as expected.
So, as we wrap up, this leaves us with a pretty wild question. If the agent is doing the heavy lifting, writing the code, running the tests autonomously, are you still a programmer? Or have you officially evolved into a verification engineer, architecting contracts and guiding the AI? It is a profound shift in how we work. I highly recommend taking these workflow tips for a spin. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep experimenting.